as always or pre-written text that you will see in all the HTML files, right? So if you talk about any website, this skeleton that is or the boilerplate that is shown on your screen will be always there. So it consists of these set of statements or these set of code is present in your each and every website, right? What is it? It will be doc type HTML, these tags, HTML tags, head tags, and in that head tag you will have title tag. In that body tag, then there is body tag, then the closing of HTML tag. So now you see there are some tags in this boilerplate. There are all the tags except the doc type HTML, which is present at the top. All the rest of the tags have starting tag as well as the closing tags, right? So we will talk about these tags after some slides in this course itself. But right now we are not focusing on the tags, but we are focusing on what each and every statement that is on your screen represents or what does it mean. So now let's talk about the first thing, that is doc type HTML. So this doc type HTML is nothing but it's an instruction to the browser about the version of HTML that we are going to use. In this case, we are going to use HTML5, right? So this is an instruction to the browser that we are going to use the HTML version 5 of the, so that the browser will understand whatever we are writing in our HTML, right? So after that, we saw that there was a HTML tag, that is the opening tag or the starting tag, right? It's the root element which acts as a container to hold all the code that is on our screen. Okay, as you can see in this slide, there is a HTML tag and at the end there is a closing HTML tag. Okay, so this is the root element. So now as you can see that this is the root element and it acts as a container to hold all the code, right? So browser should know that this is an HTML document. This HTML tag will help the browser to know that this is an HTML document. Now, what is the permitted content inside this HTML tag? As we can see that there is a head tag and inside it, inside the HTML tag, there is a head tag and there is a body tag. So the permitted content is one tag followed by one head tag followed by one body tag. So this is the permitted content. As you can see in HTML tag itself, there is a head tag and there is a body tag. Okay, so these are the permitted content inside the head tag, inside the HTML tag. Okay, so now what is a head tag? So as you can see inside the HTML tag, there was a head tag, and inside that head tag there was a title tag, right? So everything that is written in this head tag will never be displayed in the browser. It contains general information, or also known as metadata, that is information about the document. It contains that thing. Okay, this head tag. So like title tag is there, definition of CSS, script sheets, right? Or if we are trying to link some CSS with in our HTML file, which we will be doing, but not in this course. There will be a separate course for that is in which we will understand CSS, right? There will be some script, that is we are going to add some JavaScript file with our HTML file. There will be some some other tags, right? We are going to add maybe some bootstrap, right? Or maybe some jQuery in our, all those things will be added inside this HTML, inside this head tag. Okay, so what is this title tag? We'll talk about this title tag separately, and let's now focus on this skeleton itself. Okay, so now there's a head tag. In short, whatever we write in this head tag will never be displayed in the browser. Now let's talk about body tag. So everything written in here will be displayed in the browser. So whatever it's opposite to what we saw in our head tag. So everything that we wrote in our head tag or we write in our head tag will never be displayed. But in body tag, everything that we write will be always displayed in the browser. It contains text, images, links, which can be achieved through tags. We will talk about these tags one by one. For example, this is a paragraph tag, right? P, then this is a closing, this is a starting tag, and then there's a closing P tag. This is what do you mean by starting tag and the closing tag, and whatever we write in this tag will act as a paragraph. Okay, then we have some links, right? There will be a link which says go to Google. When you click on that, it will be underlined, right? When you click on that, it will go onto the page, that is Google page, right? www.google.com. It will go onto that page. Okay, if you want to add some images, there's an image tag, right? It's a self-closing tag. As you can see, there is no closing tag explicitly mentioned for image tag, as it's a self-closing tag. We will talk about these things in detail in the future part of this course, right? Now this image tag contains photo.jpg, right? So there will be a photo or an image which will be rendered on your browser. Okay, so everything that you write will be present or will be contained inside this body tag. Now let's try to demonstrate whatever we studied so far about the skeleton of the HTML. Let's see how it looks. Okay, so now I'm going to use Sublime Text as my editor. Okay, now the first and foremost thing that we will do is save this file. Let's suppose we saved this file on our desktop, and let's name it first.html. Okay, so now we have saved this file, and now if I just write this thing HTML, that's it, and I will press tab, you see the auto completion of this Sublime Text is one of the feature of Sublime Text, that it helped me, not it saved my time, right? It gave me this autocomplete feature, right? It gave me some highlights, it gave me some indentation means that the spacing, that this is easier for us to actually it makes easier for us to read this thing, right? So okay, this is a head tag, and inside this head tag there's a title tag, so we can easily depict this thing from this indentation that this is inside this head tag, right? So these are all the things, all the functionalities of what Sublime Text. As I told you, it differs from editor to editor. Now let's suppose if I have a notepad file and I'm trying to save this file. Let's try to save this file in similar fashion, and I try to save this file on the desktop, and let's call it as f.txt. Now I have saved. Okay, I need to save this file again. Let's try to save this as HTML, right? So now let's try to save this file as f.html, right? So now let's save this file. So this is an HTML file. Now if I write HTML and then press a tab, so nothing happens. Okay, so there is no auto completion in this notepad file, right? You have to write each and everything on your own, right? So this is not the feature, or this is the difference between one editor and the other. Okay, so there is no auto completion, no indentation in this notepad. It's the simplest editor. Okay, but I recommend, if you're trying to learn this thing or you're learning this HTML for the first time, I highly recommend you to use Notepad. But if you're if you can remember things quickly, then it's okay. You can switch to Sublime Text. So you see now the difference between Notepad and the Sublime Text, right? So now let's close this file, and we don't want to save this. Now let's talk about the other elements that were here. So you see, if I remove all these things, now you see this is the root element, and inside this contains all these things. Okay, we will talk about this title tag in the future slides. Okay, so now let's talk about this paragraph tag. Okay, so let's suppose this is a P tag, and then I wrote P and then I pressed a tab. So what it represents, this represents a paragraph. So when I wrote let's suppose I wrote something in it. Okay, I will be writing this lorem word, and then I will be pressing a tab. So what this does, this will give me some random text. This text means nothing, but this is some gibberish text, but it doesn't mean anything, but it looks good. If you're trying to write something and which doesn't mean anything, instead of writing something this, right, you usually write this thing. It's better practice, or it's better to use this lorem ipsum content. Okay, so I wrote lorem and then I pressed a tab, so it gave me this text. Okay, pre-written text. Okay, so this is for a paragraph. This is a paragraph tag. We will talk about this individually. So it will represent this content in the form of paragraph. Okay, so now let's suppose there is another tag, or let's now focus on this tag only. Okay, so now this is a paragraph tag, and this will be represented. This will be rendered on our browser. Now let's save this file, and to run this file, we will go on to the location wherein we stored this file, that is on the desktop, and we'll click on this first, and we'll double click on this file, and this will give me this content that was present on that file. Okay, so now if you see, this is the lorem ipsum content, and it is rendered on our browser just by double clicking on the file. Okay, it was rendered on the browser. This is what a skeleton, and it will be present on each and every website, and it will be present on each and every web page. Rather, we know that website is nothing but a collection of web pages, so it will be present in all the web pages, this skeleton or boilerplate of HTML. Okay,